Hi there, my name is Matthew, and today I'm gonna show you how to use fStretch to create deformation on an elbow kind of rig with stretch and squash and good knee deformation and stuff like that. So, but what I'm gonna show you is just like the techniques and idea on how to get that done. So first off, let's create a little cylinder that will be used as the 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 arm. So this is good. So let's say this is our arm. Very important, don't forget to freeze the transformation and delete the history. And after that, let's create our joints, just like that, and let's scan it. So we take the two of these, bind, smooth bind, selected joints, let's put that here like that, and then when we bend, good. Now let's paint this a little bit. I'll just put it, post normalize, and then smooth it. So that's good. Here we go. So now that this is done, let's apply fStretch. Here, create fStretch. And now we're gonna duplicate this mesh, unlock its attribute, move it here, and this one we're gonna use it for the knee. So when we move that here, let's go in the attribute editor, fStretch, go to color per vertex, draw color per vertex, and angle base. So now we see the angle deformation that happens here. So we want to take the green here and to have our knee shape to happen on that area. So in order to do that, the green, if you go into, you close tension base, you open angle base, you go into bend in, you see this is bend in and this is bend out. So this shape here, let's call it bend out, and we're gonna connect this. So take this one first, and after this one we're going to fStretch, connect, bend out. Okay, so now if you move the vertex of this one, you see that it moves the vertex of the green part here, which is good. So now you have to find where the knee is, somewhere here, like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's take this, and something, well, that's a bit ugly. Maybe something more, put it like that. So you can play around and sculpt this as you want, and you get it here happening. Let's just key the bone here to here. And we're gonna select the mesh, go in the attribute editor, fStretch, and bend out. We're gonna change the range. So right now you see it's much better with this range. The range means it has to rotate all the way up here in order to take effect. Otherwise it takes effect right away. If I put it to .5, you see right now, poof, takes effect right now. That's not what we want. So that's pretty good like that. And if you think it's a bit harsh, you can relax it here a little bit. But no, let's not do that. So right now we have the knee. So well, this is very basic and very low-res geometry, but you can get something like much better on high-res, of course. But this is just to get a feel of the technique used. So this is it for the knee, and then what we're gonna do is that let's just put it to the neutral pose, 0. We're gonna duplicate the mesh again, and we're gonna do the stretch and squash effects now. This is a very nice thing that comes with the plugin, is that you can drive like stretch and squash and things like knee all working together. They're really distinct effects happening from distinct phenomena, and they can work together in a very nice way. So we want our stretch and squash to happen when we scale the bones, okay? Or if you just translate it, usually you don't do that kind of stuff, but the nice thing about the plugin too is that how the geometry is deformed, the fStretch is applied at the end of the line, after all the deformer, all the skin cluster, all the anything that you apply on the mesh to deform it, and fStretch is just at the end, and it does its effect based on the tension and angle deformation that happen on the mesh, and it's based on nothing else than that. So it's very independent from the way the mesh has been deformed, and this makes it a very clean way to work. So because of that, you can change like your skin cluster and your deformer stuff underneath it, like when you want and without any problem. So let's just take this mesh here. This will be for the stretch. So let's get it like that, and select it. After that, select this one. Go to fStretch, connect, stretch, and then when you scale that, you see that it goes to this one. So if you translate it, you see, scale this one, and the deformation are really calculated on each vertex. So it really takes effect in the area you want. Let's take this mesh again, duplicate it, unlock the attributes, move it here, and this one will be used for the squash, like that. And don't forget, don't scale the transform, scale the vertex like that. Okay, so take this one, after that this one, go to stretch, connect, squash, and then when we squash it bulges a little bit, but this is not enough. So what you want to do is you go to tension base here, squash, put the range a bit lower, so it's better like that. And you want to smooth the effect because it's a bit harsh, like it's cut here and it's not very beautiful. So let's smooth this out like that. So this is much better now. And you see, if you move like that, it happens too. And here, here, and let's go to the bind pose. The transition between the stretch and the squash is not exactly the best. And also the stretch takes a bit long to take effect. So let's change the range of the stretch here. Yeah, this is better. And you see that the range, it's really like how much distance has to be neat in order to put on the shape. And if you change stretch, this is like the shape itself. So it's when the shape is put to the maximum, it's put to the maximum of this setting here. So it's very important to distinguish the difference, to make the difference between the stretch and the range, and the squash and the range. Those two settings are very different. So, in this example, our maximum is that's pretty good. This maximum. So let's just let it to that. So now the transition between the stretch and the squash, it's not very good. So this is another example where the smooth transition is not what we want. So let's put it to linear here in the tension fall up. This fall up control the transition between the stretch and the squash, both of them at the same time. If you want to control the transition for just the stretch or just the squash, you have those fall up here separately. But one thing to take into account is that unlike the stretch and the squash fall up, the tension fall up is applied at the very end of the line. That means that there's a lot of effects like the smoothing effects, especially the grossing effects. Those kind of effects are applied before it. So sometimes when you have very high-res shapes and you have the transition between your stretch and your squash mesh happening, sometimes you can see kind of lines that it's like a no man's land line between the stretch and the squash, and sometimes you can clearly see that, and you don't want to see them because they're not good. They don't give good deformation, and they're a bit awkward. So when you have those, it's very important to have a smooth tension fall up, and it's only with the tension fall up that you're gonna remove those, because the stretch and the squash fall up, they're not gonna help for that. So if you didn't understand what I just said about this, it's not very important, because this is something that's important when you use the plugin for more high-res and more advanced stuff. If you want to do just basic stuff, most of the time you won't have to even know about that. So let's just put the transition to linear here, and when we switch to stretch and squash, you see it's much better now. And the squash, let's put it a bit more too. Let's put it to 1.3, no, 1.5. So that's much better now. So here we have stretch and squash rig for an arm, and if you go to bind pose, we have our knee and stretch and squash with the knee. Everything is working together, and that's it. So you can apply any kind of setup on the arm with IK and doll and stuff. Anything you might want. fStretch is really can be very applied at the end, and it doesn't take into account how you make the rig. You can really make any kind of rig you want. You just apply fStretch at the end on the geometry. You tweak your setting, you have your result, and that's it. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.